Thank you, Miss Kathy, for the introduction, and thank you, Simone, for the video. First, I'd like to thank Simone Brown for extending to me the invitation to speak to you tonight, and secondly, for putting this district dinner together. She is really the person who makes this occasion come to life. I'd like to thank my wife for being my date. I was asked to speak on two primary reasons on why we conduct the district dinner. First, for the recognition of those scouts who have earned the rank of Eagle in 2016. And secondly, the adult leadership who really keep the blood pumping in this organization. The first point, Scouts. Congratulations on achieving and earning the rank of Eagle Scout. You have earned something that will forever have an imprint in your life. If you are sitting here today as an Eagle, it is because you have successfully completed the requirements necessary to obtain the rank of Eagle. Throughout your time as a Scout, you learned, overcame, and conquered this journey we call the Eagle Trail. A journey that 96% of Scouts do not complete. A journey that is filled with challenges, obstacles, and failures that make us stronger. A journey that in order to complete, you need to swim against the current and against the tide to overcome the odds. My fellow Eagle Scouts, this is called life. For the past 5 to 7 years, you have not only been learning and having fun in this program, you have been learning how to live. You now start to see the value of something earned due to hard work. You understand the reward you receive by living the Scout oath in law and putting others before yourself. You understand that in this journey called life, not everything is given to you. As Eagle Scouts, we are all called to be leaders. We are the ones swimming against the current called society. A society where everything is accepted so that no one is offended. A society where even last place receives a trophy. A society that is so diluted it becomes difficult to recognize what is still right. As a leader, when you're on to something great, something that will help across your lifetime hundreds, thousands, or even millions of people, when you're on to something that will make a substantial positive impact in this world, society will do all it can to bring you down so you don't succeed. More than ever, these are the times that test your foundation, a foundation built in the Boy Scouts. My brother Eagle Scouts, it is your responsibility and duty to always act on what you know to be right. Some may ask, how do you recognize what is right? Simple. This is what we as adult leaders have been trying to instill in you from the beginning. You recognize what is right by following the principles taught in the Scout Oath and Scout Law. By following the 12 points of the Scout Law from trustworthy to reverent. By living your life with duty to God, duty to country, and duty to others, self at the forefront of your life. With this alignment of God, country, others, self, the right choices start to become less cloudy. Remember, when right and wrong become diluted and society attempts to bring you down, let the Scout Oath and Law be the beacon and one fixed standard by which you choose to follow. And to my second point, adult leaders, thank you for your dedication, commitment, and service you have given to help guide these Eagle Scouts. Not once have you asked to be compensated or paid for giving the most valuable and irreplaceable thing you can give, your time. You choose to be here because you believe in what this program teaches. You believe that the Boy Scouts transforms that young scouter who always pokes the fire. That young scout who forgot to bring a jacket or sleeping bag to the troop campout. That young scout who didn't bring the two most important items to a campout, socks and toilet paper. To see that young scout sit here today as an Eagle Scout, to see him sit here a man, this is why we are here. As adult leaders, we understand the importance of this program. We understand that if everyone knew the values and foundation we instill in Scouts, that all boys would be put in scouting. We understand that duty to God is the first duty in the Scout Promise and cannot be removed. We understand that Boy Scouts is not a daycare program, though is a father-son program encompassed around duty to God, duty to country, and duties to others self that makes up the heart of scouting within the Scout Promise. I had a dad ask me once about an upcoming campout that his son was attending, "What do you do there?" However, he didn't ask out of curiosity, though more of a disgusted, "What do you do there?" And I looked at him and I told him, "You're going to make memories with your son." Parents, Eagle Scouts, take notice of your adult leadership. Yes, the troop is run by the boys, though this program cannot exist without the guidance of our adult leaders. Give an even closer look and appreciation for those adult leaders who have served a mission or answered a calling to serve as a leader. How do we recognize these adults? These are the adults who take on a leadership role and choose to stay in scouting even after their son has aged out and moved on. These are the adults who do not have kids of their own in the troop, yet believe in the ultimate foundation Boy Scouts instills in our youth. My fellow adult leaders, no, we are not paid for our time. Though the biggest reward we receive is to see that young scout achieve something as rare and special as the rank of Eagle Scout. Even further, when that new Eagle Scout decides to call you to the front to present you with a tiny gold pin that says Mentor. To receive something so small yet so powerful. For that once young scout to say, "You are the reason I am here today." As adult leaders, this is what reminds us of why we became scout leaders in the first place. Our adult leaders understand the standard of Eagle Scout and scouting. Now, some of you are probably wondering why I'm wearing a home plate around my neck. Some maybe not. Okay. Do we have any baseball players or baseball coaches or former or current in the house today? Can you raise your hand? How about any current or former baseball coaches? Just coaches. Now, question for you coaches, do you know how wide in T-ball home plate is? Does anybody know how wide home plate is in T-ball? 17 inches. How about Little League or tournament ball? Kid pitch, how wide is home plate? 17 inches. But what about high school and college? You get to the bigger leagues, gets more competitive, how wide is home plate? 17 inches, that's right. What about pro ball and minor league? 17 inches. 17 inches. Now what happens if a pro pitcher cannot throw across the 17 inches? Do we say, "Oh, that's okay, we'll make it 18 inches, or we'll make it 19 or 20. And if you still can't throw it across then, 25 inches. Do we do that? Do we widen home plate? That's called a ball, right? Now what happens when a player shows up to practice unshaven, gets in trouble at school? Do we hold him accountable or responsible, or do we widen home plate? What about that young scout on a campout who chooses to use his foul language, or maybe he bullies a scout on a campout? Do we hold him responsible and accountable, or do we widen home plate? Here's the problem with our home life. Too often now, parents don't educate their children on what's right. Families crumble and fall down because nobody takes accountability for their actions or responsible. They don't hold each other accountable. We widen home plate. Here's the problem with our churches. It's not unexpected now to hear on the news someone in high position of power taking advantage of someone in their congregation, whether it's for money or popular power. That's just news now. We widen home plate to make it accepted. Here's the problem with our society and our schools. We have placed students above the teacher. We've taken away the tools teachers need to properly teach, educate, and discipline our students and our kids. We've chosen to widen home plate to make everything accepted. Now, what happens when you continue to widen home plate? You start to lose sight of what's right and what's wrong within the one standard foundation. One standard foundation of 17 inches of what we know to be right. But what you notice here, duty to God, country, and others and self, is what we teach in this program. And as leaders, we do our best, and it's our responsibility to teach our scouts within these 17 inches. Now, what happens if we continue to widen home plate, make everything accepted, and so that no one's offended? What happens then? There's going to be some dark days ahead. So scouts and leaders, let's try to remember our roots on 17 inches. This program has always been about the boys, though today we also recognize a few adult leaders who have given exceptional service to the Boy Scout program. As we continue today as one family in scouting, let us celebrate the accomplishment of one group and the service of another. God bless us all here tonight.